You know, people would argue that the online sales tax was actually pro small business, because people go online and they order stuff off of Amazon or wherever, and
yes.
they
Yes, we do.
So Amazon
yes,
gets this benefit that local small businesses don't get.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. You know, see, governments don't compete for taxes. They can, so that's why I love Amazon. All right, what else is going to pop up? What's the surprise thing that's going to
civil unions?
Talk to me about this.
Okay, so Colorado already, we've just hit we almost have civil unions in Colorado right now.
How so?
Back in 2009, designated beneficiary agreements went into law, meaning any two people who are in a relationship can say, I want this person to have these kinds of
power of attorney.
Right. Yeah. You come into my hospital room if I'm
and if
incapacitated.
I die, he gets all the
exactly.
stuff I have.
Estate planning, those kinds of things. And actually, at the time, I looked at it and I realized, Colorado was one of the most liberal states in granting rights to gay and lesbian couples in the conservative Mountain West. Obviously, California and other places do things a little differently. But so this year, we're going to see a civil unions bill come, I believe, from possibly Pat Stedman. He's a gay senator from Denver. And that
not Colorado Springs?
No, shockingly enough, I know.
We have one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we don't. Maybe it's possible.
We got that ordinance against.
Right. But and what that'll do is, in the same way that if one of you, for instance, since you're married, got divorced, there'd be a set way to dissolve the marriage, to split custody, that kind of thing. So this is going to focus on the back end of the
So what we have now, which doesn't seem to be too well celebrated, is a de facto civil union law. How do you know that a couple is a civil union? Well,
basically, you fill out a designated beneficiary agreement, and you just sort of file that. I think, I don't know who you file that with. Maybe your clerk and recorder. I don't really know. And there, poof, that's what it is.
It would be interesting to see if anyone, if that's going to go forward this year, if anyone would just challenge in the legislature the common law statute in Colorado. Because Colorado has one of the most liberal, easy marriage laws there is. You basically just declare yourself married.
Right.
And it is so. And it's just as married as if you had, done it a more traditional way. But in that common law statute is an exception. It accepts same-sex couples. So if you took that exception out, without doing anything at all, you could just allow same-sex couples to declare themselves married. And then they could they could take that to a church if they wanted to have a ceremony. They could do it, but without having to really involve the state.
idea of going to the church and going, look, we're common law.
Well, all you'd have to do in Colorado is go to a gay-friendly church, and there's a big gay church in Colorado Springs even. So I know that they must be in a lot
big gay church.
Yeah, big gay church. So, or churches that aren't specifically.
It is the most well-decorated church I have ever been to.
Get a load of this.
All right.
Wow.
Stereotypes.
Wow.
I love it.
Well, that's an interesting fight in the House, though, because Republicans have that. Republicans have that one-vote majority. But there are plenty of Republicans that you might be able to convince that this is.
But it goes the other way. That the Republicans would only need to lose one. Are there any Democrats though who haven't done this? We took on this issue a couple of years ago that the state had on the ballot the same year a same-sex marriage amendment that would ban it, and then a civil unions law that would allow civil unions. Both of them went down in what was a pretty sizable defeat for the gay community, which was odd, just as a Democratic pro-gay marriage governor was coming in and a Democratic legislature. If they didn't put that on the ballot, they might have been able to get it.
Right.
So is that going to happen this year?
I don't know, but I do know that the state doesn't want to historically has not wanted to get involved in this issue. That's why both of those measures went down. And I may be editorial. I'll be talking to the editorial board about it this year, about advocating that anyone who wants to see same-sex marriage in Colorado really ought to be lobbying just to change the common law marriage statute, because that solves the problem.
It's an interesting point.
And it's just that simple. And the state isn't doing anything active. It's just being passive. It's saying your marriage is between you. Whether you're heterosexual or whether you're a same-sex couple, your marriage is your business. It's a contract you make however you choose to make it.
I hear that they're going to try to blend that idea with the bill with the Arizona immigration law so that only gay illegals can have a civil union.
Oh,
no one else can get married.
Nobody else
can
get married.
Colorado.
Nobody else can. All right, a couple minutes left. What kind of surprises? I mean, there's always something that happens. One of the things that I think that Owens was good at, he was good in a crisis. He was a good manager. The same thing about Roy Romer. Love him or hate him, he had a kind of an iron fist. Ritter's a good guy. I mean, I like him. I would trust him to babysit my kids. He's a good guy, but he had more of a consensus building type of viewpoint, which I don't think worked so well. I think we're going to see something different. I think people are going to see that the nice, soft Hickenlooper actually is a pretty strong administrator, and I'm waiting to see. What's a prediction?
You know, so far Republicans under the dome are optimistic about him, cautiously optimistic maybe. But you know, he is asking them for suggestions for appointments to cabinet heads. I think that perhaps you'll see a couple of ours in his.
Now there were a lot of people who were upset that Tom Tancredo being one of them, that Bill Owens was on his transition team.
Sure,
you know, we shouldn't play
on
that.
his transition team.
Well, but I mean, he's specifically like talking to lawmakers, Republican lawmakers, and I think that's a little different than putting, you know, a former governor who is a symbolic.
Didn't he have Norma Anderson on that team as well? I mean, people who just have an incredible amount of experience. All right,
but I think
30 seconds left.
Okay.
Give me what do you expect? Is there a big surprise coming?
Nationally, I think we're going to see the health care bill go down. I think it's unconstitutional, and that ultimately the Supreme Court is going to rule that way.
I don't doubt it
When,
at all.
I don't know, but it's coming down the pike.
Don't doubt it. Any big things on your side?
Oh, big things, but beer.
Beer. Lots of beer. Oh, another beer fight. That's what we need.
Yes,
more alcohol. More beer fights.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for joining us. Go to the Independence Institute. That's independenceinstitute.org. Listen for me late nights on 850 KOA. Tell a friend. We'll see you next week.